Chapter 3, Marketing Ethics. These questions are the learning objectives guiding the chapter and will be explored in more detail in the following slides. Why do marketers have to worry about ethics? What does it take for a firm to be considered socially responsible? How should a firm make ethically responsible decision? How can ethics and social responsibility be integrated into a firm's marketing strategy? In August 2007, several toy manufacturers found lead paint in their toys. Mattel recalled 20 million products in 1 month. Even though Mattel had subcontracted this manufacturing through China, they took total responsibility for the problem. Profit is important to the success of the firm, but how the firm makes that profit can have a dramatic impact on the firm's future. Greed and short-term profit-seeking usually results in serious long-term consequences. Creating value over the long run can equal long-term success. Business ethics refers to a branch of ethical study that examines ethical rules and principles within a commercial context, the various moral or ethical problems that might arise in a business setting, and any special duties or obligations that apply to persons engaged in commerce. Marketing ethics examines those ethical problems that are specific to the domain of marketing. Marketing and sales professionals sometimes rank poorly in the ratings of the most trusted professionals. For marketers, who depend on the long-term trust of their customers, this low ranking is very disappointing. Citibank addresses identity theft as it becomes a growing issue that can damage both the organization and its customers. The process of creating a strong ethical climate within a marketing firm includes having a set of values that guides decision-making and behavior. Once the values are understood, the firm must develop a set of explicit rules that govern all the firm's transactions. Then, everyone within the firm must agree to a system of controls that rewards appropriate behavior and punishes inappropriate behavior. Many professions, including marketing, have their own codes of ethics that firms and individuals in the profession agree to abide by. The generally accepted code in marketing, developed by the American Marketing Association, flows from general norms of conduct to specific values to which marketers should aspire. Each sub-area within marketing, such as marketing research, advertising, pricing, and so forth, has its own code of ethics that deals with the specific issues that arise when conducting business in those areas. Every firm is made up of individuals, each with his or her own needs and desires. Every individual is a product of his or her own culture, upbringing, genes, and various other influences. Firms must establish a process for decision-making that ensures individuals choose ethical alternatives more often. It is not always clear why people act unethically and sometimes illegally, but when they do act in this manner, many people may be harmed. Decisions often have conflicting outcomes, where both options have positive and negative consequences. In many cases, people must choose between competing outcomes. When faced with a dangerous flaw in a new model, a manager could choose to delay production and remedy the design flaw, which pushes production off schedule, delays revenue, and may result in layoffs and loss of a bonus. Or the manager could stay on schedule, put the flawed design into production, and hope it does not result in injuries to consumers and loss of revenue for the firm. Which option would you choose? Corporate social responsibility describes the voluntary actions taken by a company to address ethical, social, and environmental impacts of its business operations and the concerns of its stakeholders. For a company to act in a socially responsible manner, the employees within the company must also maintain high ethical standards. This slide outlines a simple framework for ethical decision-making, which will be presented in greater detail in the following slides. The first step in ethical decision-making is to identify the issue. In a marketing research firm, ethical issues might include data collection methods, such as not informing respondents that they are being observed, hiding the true purpose of a study from respondents, for example, telling them they are in an independent research company, but actually doing research for a particular politician, using results to mislead or even harm the public, for example, results of a pharmaceutical study. The second step in the ethical decision-making process is to gather information and identify stakeholders. The firm focuses on gathering facts that are important to the ethical issues, including all relevant legal information. The firm must also identify and discuss these issues with the individuals and groups that have a stake in how the issue is resolved. This slide illustrates a stakeholder analysis matrix. The stakeholders are interrelated because an ethical violation may impact others. Falsifying results for a new pharmaceutical study will, for instance, impact the researchers, the pharmaceutical company, the legal system, the physicians, and most importantly, the patients. After identifying the issues and the stakeholders, all parties should come together to brainstorm alternative courses of action. The alternative solutions depend on the type of ethical issue and how the stakeholders are affected. After compiling a list of alternatives, the alternatives are then evaluated and a course of action is chosen. The chosen course represents the best solution for the stakeholders using ethical best practices. To choose the appropriate course of action, marketing managers will evaluate each alternative using a process something like this sample of ethical decision-making questionnaire. Now check yourself. 1. According to the American Marketing Association Code of Ethics, what are the 6 ethical values? Honesty, responsibility, fairness, respect, openness, citizenship. 2. Identify the 4 stages in the ethical decision-making framework. Stages 1. Identify issues. Stages 2. Gather information and identify stakeholders. Stages 3. Brainstorm alternatives. Stages 4. Choose a course of action. This slide summarizes the ethical decision-making process with an emphasis on identifying potential ethical pitfalls during each stage. By incorporating ethics into the firm's mission statement, the firm sets a standard for its subsequent ethical decision-making. The mission statement signals the firm's strategic priorities. Firms often go beyond the mission or vision statement by including a values statement. Newman's Own is an example of a company highly sensitive to its ethical and social responsibility. Aqua Teen Hunger was under criticism for ethical concerns in the implementation phase of their marketing strategy. There are several questions that a firm must ask itself during the implementation phase of the strategic marketing planning process. Should the firm be relocating production to another country? Should the firm be targeting this market with this product? Should the firm be selling its product in this market in this manner? During the control phase, managers must be evaluated on their actions from an ethical perspective. Systems must be in place to check whether each potentially ethical issue raised in the planning process was actually successfully implemented. Systems used in the control phase must also react to change. This slide outlines the 6 tests of ethical action. Now check yourself. 1. Should a marketing manager insist on assessing the ethics of a situation she or he is facing? Yes. 2. Identify one ethical issue you might face in each of the 3 phases of a marketing plan. Answers will vary. Click on each scenario to bring up the picture and questions. Review the scenario in the textbook. Is this unethical to mail these to young adults? Would it be wrong if it was from an alcoholic beverage company? Review the scenario in the textbook. Was this wrong for Victoria's Secret? Do you have any additional issues with this company as they promote body images that are hard for many women to maintain? Review this scenario in the textbook. Some states ban such software and require businesses to display a real phone number, but the practice continues. Why would firms want to participate in it? Review the scenario in the textbook. When the owners learn about the deception, should they immediately stop using the distributors? Why or why not? Review the scenario in the textbook. Avoiding a large loss often creates the potential for ethically questionable actions. Would the scenario change if some infants had died from this product? Review the scenario in the textbook. Many people feel that the anonymity of the Internet is concerning in many ways. Corporate social responsibility describes the voluntary actions taken by a company to address the ethical, social, and environmental impacts of its business operations and the concerns of its stakeholders.